Stick around for the vote, Bill. Was it Phil? Yeah. I've been in and out.
Yes.
Okay, and on to our good news report. Our Director of Communications, Natalie Nash, was the recipient of the National School Public Relations Association's Golden Achievement Award and Award of Merit for Distinguished Achievement in the category of School District. It's for the video, It's Out of This World, grand opening of the new Crete Monee Middle School. And it's Dr. Clark. Turn it over to you, Dr. Clark.
Hi, I'm especially proud. I would also just like to add on one particular, the one where she received for the Night of Leadership, Make a Good Decision, Vote for One Vision. This was a Golden Achievement Award, and believe it or not, there was such a very hard criteria for this. I just wanted to acknowledge everything that took place in order for her to receive this award. So the Golden Achievement Award recognizes exemplary work in all aspects of school public relations, communications, marketing, and engagement. It judges on the analysis of the need, planning to meet the need, execution and communication of the program, and a formal evaluation. And in going through all of these various different awards that you can receive, including merits, there are thousands of entries. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that for you to come out on top is a very, very outstanding job. So congratulations. I would like to call you up as well as our superintendent to present the award to her at this time. We're going to show the video as well.
Now, do we get a chance to direct you, Director of Communications, on how to take the photos?
Let's bring it in.
Yeah,
bring
to
it
the
in.
side, go around 360, to the left, to the right.
Yeah.
Put a little Beyonce in her. To the left. Do not make it easy.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Do not make it easy for her. To the left, to the right. To the left, to the left. To the right.
It's not even clear. It's not giving us the option.
I can't see the cursor. That didn't work. I think it's been enlarged.
Good job, Jerry. Thank you.
I don't know how. What do you call it? A senior?
I hit escape like 3 times. It's just not showing. This is. I was trying to do that.
Yeah, I was looking at it too.
It's not showing over there.
What's this button right here? I don't know. What's that button?
Which one? That's escape.
Yeah, and it should be there.
What did y'all? How y'all say
We're
that?
looking. There it is. I see it. I see it. Go down, down. Right there. Right there. Click on it. And I'm trying. No, it's not. We're playing this video, but we can't see it on this screen. We can only see it on that screen. Okay, if you could just bear a few more minutes, we have a video that we would like to show you.
You may want to go down into the, please,
Look,
step down. Because you won't see it. We're going to go have a seat. How long is this video? It's like 3 minutes. Yeah.
See, keep on doing it.
Mr. Summer. And come on down. I know you're not used to this yet.
You're playing. Oh, it's in. No worries. Wait, no worries. Yeah, you know. Yeah, no worries.
All the way down. Upside. All the way down. I haven't done it yet.
What you want me to do?
The HD, next to HD up there. Go up. Right there. Hit the widescreen.
This is what we're going to do.
There you go. All right.
You can't.
Okay.
There we go. How you turn it up?
When I think of the term out of this world, I think of reaching greater heights. I think of excelling in school and shooting for the stars and beyond. I think about July 20th, 1969, when Neil Armstrong became the first person to land on the moon. I also think about my school today, September 29th, 2016, and the state-of-the-art features that I am being exposed to.
Well, we've tried to build a state-of-the-art facility so that we are able to provide students with that 21st century education that everyone keeps talking about. But more than that, we've tried to build an environment, if you will, that is conducive to good learning. It's open, it's airy. The kids really are enjoying the spaces, really getting into them.
Nearly 100 years ago, the average American school only had one room. Since that time, the world and schools have evolved. In this 21st century, teachers are expected to prepare students for 21st century careers. In order to accomplish this, schools have to be equipped and upgraded as times change.
I'm excited because we're demanding excellence of our young people, and I think that's important.
We worked diligently and hard, trying to ensure that every voice was heard.
Our design process that makes this school kind of different is we talk to everybody. Administration, the teachers, we met with students, which is probably the best day I've had as an architect, talking about what they want to see in a school and how they learn differently than we did growing up.
Everybody's so used to the four walls and the board in the front and the desks maybe in rows, and our teachers have really been embracing the idea of becoming more collaborative, engaging, and more towards the 21st century skills of students being really in charge of their own learning.
For the future, I think it's going to play a very big part because it's more colorful, more interactive. It's just a nice place for students in the community.
We love the new school. We love how it looks. It makes it feel so much more comfy. And I feel like it's going to prepare us for high school in the future with all the new courses and for just an open community.
The middle grades in the Crete Monee School District have been separated in different buildings, and research shows how important it is at that age to bring kids together to learn.
And I think it's going to only prepare our students for just a tremendous future. I was really blown away by what I saw.
And to be able to see something like this come to pass is an awesome feeling as a board member, as the board president, and as a parent myself with a student here at the middle school.
CMMS is out of this world!
Okay, thank you so much. That's it. Okay, so I don't know where you were prior to. So those will be coming. I can come this.
I just wanted to say a few thank yous if I could. I appreciate you all for taking the time to do that. Um, just very quickly, I'd like to say, I wrote it down because I knew that I wouldn't remember it, so I'm going to read it. I've always had a love for words from the time I was writing letters to Santa until the days as a roving new reporter at the New York Times Chicago Bureau. I know that words are powerful and they possess the rarest ability to change environments, belief systems, hearts, and even minds. I'd like to thank the Board of Education for their support of the Communications Office. Thank you for placing your trust in me and confidence in my abilities. I love this school district, and I'm both challenged and invigorated each day that I'm blessed to come here and do what fulfills and inspires me. These awards represent the best of who we are and what we can become together. Thank you to the Board of Education, leadership. Thank you, Mrs. Gasparo. Thank you to District Administration, Superintendent, Dr. Clark, Lyle, Laura, and my homegirl, Terry. And to my new friend, Ken Surma. I want to thank building administrators and special thanks to the directors, Keith McLean of Maintenance, Juan Lyle of IT, and Pam Panza, my brothers and sister from another mister, who never fail to graciously share their time and talents to offer their invaluable assistance to me whenever I request it. I simply could not do this without them. Thank you. Special thanks, lastly, to my new boss, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Rochelle Clark, for your warmth, your good energy, the great laughs, and constantly pushing me to submit a nomination for this. I appreciate you for your humility and for always, always leading by example. Thank you all.
You want to have any comments, board members?
Well, again, Nat, if you don't mind, I appreciate all you do for the district. Since I've known you for quite a few years, you have been a consummate professional in your duties and your task at hand. So, I have nothing but faith in you that you will continue doing the things that's needed for this district to promote our district and the district that we really are. So continue doing what you're doing. And I do thank your new boss too, okay, for leading by example. Thank you.
Nat, I have been a champion of yours since the day I was elected to this board. Got on the communications committee, which no longer exists, but it was a great learning experience for me. Even after 40 years at the Chicago Tribune, you taught me so much about how to get it out to the public, to treat our community the way we treat them. You're amazing. And I'm so pleased that you won this award because no one else can do what you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, Natalie, I'm a newbie, but it doesn't take long to see your passion, your enthusiasm, your hard work. As I told you last night in the hallway, not just you, but everybody else, I'm so impressed at how hard all the administrators work. I just don't believe how many hours and how much time and effort goes into everything. I appreciate it. I appreciate your award. You deserve it. And I appreciate everything that everybody does.
Hello, Natalie. How are you? Look at you, looking so nice. Congratulations, Natalie. You know, we've known each other for about 4 years now. Had many nice talks, and you know I'm in your corner. So keep up the good work and promote Crete Monee and all our warriors, please. Thank you very much. Bye.
As quiet as it's kept, this is not the first award that you've received for the district. There are many things that you have done and that you continue to do. We're so happy to have you on our team. And the things that you bring, no one else does. And we look forward to many, many new awards. You're a great part of our award-winning district. Thank you so much.
Natalie, congratulations. The video is special to me, not for the obvious reason that my child is in it, but the addition to the middle school was pretty controversial in our district, and I think the video really shined a light on the positive, and I think it was great. Just an excellent video. And I know you worked very hard on it, the publications and all the communications for the middle school, for Mix It Up Day, for Night of Leadership and everything. I can't thank you enough, and I'm really looking forward to working with you on Mix It Up Day and Night of Leadership again this year. So thank you for all your hard work, and congratulations, you deserve it.
So when is your birthday? So we can get you a nice birthday cake.
Today.
Oh.
Did you bake it?
You know,
Has to be store-bought.
we want her to be around a while.
Store-bought is the rule, right, Mrs. Panza?
Right on the Benton Street.
Oh, board updates. Administrative updates, curriculum.
Good
Search.
evening. Tonight, we wanted to take a few moments, since the school year is starting next week, to have the high school present on their new hero period. I know we did a more in-depth presentation at the Committee of the Whole in June, and received a lot of positive feedback from the board, but we wanted to allow the high school to present tonight so that we could allow our audience and community the opportunity to get the information as well. So tonight we have with us from the high school, Marjorie Trish, our high school principal, Jennifer Hannigan, assistant principal for curriculum and instruction, and Heather Godbout, the literacy coach. And I believe Heather is going to take the lead on the presentation. And if we could have everybody once again take a trip down to the audience, we'll get started. Thank you.
It's not good for your health.
Oh, and I lost it.
And it's gone.
I don't know. Somebody change it. Okay, well, everything is gone. Oh, okay. Up here it comes. Yeah, we did all
I did switch out. What do I do? So let me switch it.
Yes, thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to come down here. Hello. Sorry about that. As Ms. Hirsch said, my name is Heather Godbout. I am the literacy coach at Crete Monee High School, and I have the great privilege to show you something that we are super proud of that's going to be happening at Crete Monee High School this year, and that is our new Hero Period. So, Hero Period, which okay. There we go. Hero Period, which stands for Help, Encouragement, thank you, Resource and Opportunity, is something that we are hoping is really going to provide support and enrichment for all of our students at Crete Monee High School. So we spent the last year designing the plan and creating curriculum for a 25-minute support and enrichment period. This year we will be implementing that plan, so we will be implementing grade level courses that were written over the course of last year. We're going to have reading lab and math lab intervention courses, so those are for our students who are maybe needing some extra support in math and reading. We also have AP support classes. We expanded the reach of AP in our building quite a bit for the upcoming school year, and we wanted to make sure that students who maybe hadn't had as much opportunity to participate in higher level courses had the support that they needed to be successful in those higher level courses. So each of the AP courses that we offer has an AP lab class that goes with it that will be able to support those students and being successful in our higher level courses. We also will be implementing Tier 3 math intervention, which is small group intervention for students who are behind in math and maybe need some small group intervention to help them boost them up where we want them to be. And then we're also going to be spending some time planning a targeted tutoring program to be implemented in the future. So here is what Hero Period is. It's a 25-minute period, so we took a few minutes off of some of our other periods during the day and we put them together to make this what we call the skinny period, 25-minute period that will be taking place every day. During that time, we will be providing reading and math intervention, as I said, as well as support for students taking higher level courses. The students who are not taking those AP lab courses or who do not require reading and math intervention will be taking what we're calling freshman success and then sophomore, junior, and senior seminar. And those courses will be providing them with some of those topics that we wish we had a lot of time to spend on in our regular courses that we just don't always have time to spend time on. So they are going to be doing topics such as study skills, time management, emotional literacy, cyber safety, financial literacy. And we're also going to use it as an opportunity to get them to spend more time in text so that they're reading more and also more writing and grammar practice. So hopefully we will see an improvement in the writing skills of our students. So here are the courses that the students who do not receive either reading or math support or the AP support will be taking. So in our freshman success, we really wanted to focus on getting them ready to be successful high school students. So the topics we'll be covering, we're going to introduce them to the high school tools for success, which is all about the technology component and all of the different ways that they're going to be engaged in learning at the high school this year. General reading strategies, so that all of our students are getting a little bit of a boost into how to be successful with high school level text. We also are going to focus on emotional literacy. We're going to do some word study, a little bit more reading, this time specifically to content areas, because reading science texts are different than reading, novels. And then cyber safety and digital literacy, digital citizenship. Sophomore seminar, building momentum. We're going to spend an entire semester focused on active reading. This is kind of the last chunk of time that we have with our students when they get to high school to really focus specifically on those reading skills. And so we're going to be doing an entire semester of active reading, character plot, informational text, and author's craft. And then the other semester, the students are going to actually get to choose an online course that they can take. There were 6 courses to choose from, which I'll describe a little bit later in the presentation. And so they'll spend a semester exploring those courses online So there's a lot of student choice that's built in. For juniors, we're looking for college and career ready, right? Junior year is the big year for that. So they also will get a semester of self-selected online courses through our Plato system. And the courses that we selected are specifically chosen to be career-oriented courses. So we want them to be exploring the types of career options that they will have in the future. Then after that, where they're going to be doing some SAT preparation. So we partnered with Cambridge to get some materials to, so the teachers will be working with students on getting them ready to take that SAT test in April, right? It's April. After that SAT, we're going to start getting them ready for senior year. So intro to life after high school, intro to adulting, which is kind of like all those things that we do as adults that you don't teach necessarily in schools, like, I don't know, using proper email etiquette or having a bank account, like some of that stuff is going to be in there. And then we're also going to do a unit on peer pressure and relationships and stress management. You know, junior year, probably most of them are dating or wanting to date by that point. How can they have healthy relationships? How can they make sure that they're engaging in safe behaviors, not risky behaviors? We're going to talk some about all of that. Senior seminar, future ready. We envisioned the senior curriculum as being everything getting ready to be an adult, right? So there's not really much traditional school curriculum-y stuff in there. It's mostly life skills kinds of stuff. So we're going to do a unit on motivation. That's getting to the finish line. Active citizenship. So like, how should you be in the world once you are 18 and can vote? So we're talking about, you know, why it's important to vote and how you should work in your community and volunteerism and all of that sort of stuff. We're going to do some more healthy relationships. This time, this unit is specifically on like consent and boundaries and making sure that they're not getting into relationships that are causing them harm and that their relationships are really causing, you know, joy in their lives. Soft skills to pay the bills, so all that professionalism stuff, being on time, working as a team, good communication, that's all in there. We have a pretty extensive unit on financial literacy that covers everything from saving to budgeting to credit. And then the last unit is sort of issues facing society today. So what kinds of like big societal things are they going to be expected to grapple with and be part of the conversation on once they leave high school? For our students who require reading and math support, and that's only freshman and sophomore year, we offer those. We have Algebra and Integrated Lab, and they'll be using the Alex Math program, which is a web-based program where the students are working at their own level based on needs assessment of their particular skills. Our Reading Lab 1 and 2 will be supporting our students who take our reading strategies classes. They're going to be focusing on word study. And then we have all of those AP labs that will give content and skills support for the kinds of things we're going to have to do to be successful in AP. Oh, I'm sorry. Life skills is for our multi-needs special education population. So they also will have their own dedicated curriculum during that time. These are the Plato course options. As you can see, we chose ones that we thought would be beneficial in terms of exploring different career options. And while they may not choose to go into, say, fashion design as their career, it does kind of open up to them in terms of creativity and what kinds of things can you do with creativity. So we've got introduction to law, veterinary science, fashion design, hospitality, tourism, culinary arts, and sports marketing. The students were allowed to choose the one that they wanted, so there is student choice built into this. And again, they will be spending a semester exploring those topics using this online platform that we have. I want to say that the curriculums that were written by the teachers at the high school. We had 6 different curriculum teams working on the grade level curriculums and the reading support curriculum. We also had every AP teacher or team of AP teachers who wrote their own support curriculum. So we spent a lot of time really being thoughtful about what we were going to be presenting to the students this year. And we're really excited to see how it comes out. And I'm excited to say that we had a really positive experience with writing those curriculums. And I think all of us now are excited to get in there and teach them and to see what we can offer for our students. So future work, this is just the first step in a plan to make sure that we're supporting all of our students the best that we possibly can. So in the future, we want to look at a targeted tutoring program in multiple content areas. So let's say you are a freshman and it is the end of Q1, and you just bombed your algebra final. Now, maybe you're a decent math student most of the time, but in this particular instance, you just like did not get that thing that they taught at the end of first quarter of freshman year. Your teacher may be able to recommend that you would go to a targeted tutoring. So rather than going to a class that meets every day all year, you would go for a determined amount of time just to support your needs until you were able to catch up with whatever that content was that you were struggling with. And then once you're back where you need to be, then that targeted tutoring support would be pulled away until you, or until you needed it again. We also want to develop drop-in tutoring because, you get those kids who are A students, but they got a B- on that social studies test, right? So they really want to try to bring up that grade. And so they can then choose whether or not they want to drop in and get a little bit of extra tutoring in something that maybe they're having trouble with. And then we've talked about developing mini electives. Part of the challenge of a 6-period day is that we aren't always able to offer the variety of electives to kids that we would like. But we have teachers who are passionate about things that they would really love to have an opportunity to teach to our students and to have them experience. And so we're looking in the future at having the teachers identify areas that they really would like to offer a little mini elective. And so for a quarter or a semester, the students could be given an opportunity to experience things that maybe we don't always offer as a full year class, but this will kind of give them an idea of what's out there in terms of the types of things that they might be interested in. And I think that's all there. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them now. But if you think of it later, you can contact Jennifer Hannigan, the Assistant Principal for Curriculum Instruction. That's her number. As I said, I'm the literacy coach, and that's where you can contact me. Thank you for your time. Yes, ma'am. Yes. No, it is, well, it's now 4th period. It's sort of in between what used to be 3rd period and lunch. So we stuck in a 25-minute period in there. We took 5 minutes, I think, off of, roughly 5 minutes off of most of the periods, and then stuck them together to make this. So this is in school, and every single student is doing something in one of those things I described during this time. Yes? No, that's okay. I'm happy to explain to you kind of where we are in that process. So for our intervention courses, they have assessments built in. So the online math program, Alex, that we use, has an assessment component that tracks how the kids are doing. And so we'll get data from that to kind of determine what those students may still need and when they're ready to move on and they don't need that support anymore. With reading, we've built in, this year we're going to be doing kind of a year-long assessment schedule to get data for those students as well. And so we'll be able to track their progress over time, and we'll be able to see how they're doing. It may not be quite as pinpoint as, is this 25 minutes the thing that's making a big difference, but we will have a lot of information about those kids. One of the things that we still are sort of figuring out is the AP component, because success in AP looks different depending on the AP that you're taking. And so we're going to be continuing conversations with those teachers as they get into this process of supporting those students, and have them kind of give us feedback and see if we can figure out a more systemic way that we can keep track of how those kids are doing. Because we're adding students to our AP pool who haven't traditionally been in our AP pool, this is kind of a new thing for all of us, and so we're going to really try to get a pulse on it as we go. And then hopefully we'll have a little more formalized way of figuring that out. As for the regular grade level courses, they're not for a letter grade, like they don't affect GPA. And because a lot of them are soft skills or social emotional skills or things that aren't necessarily part of the academic curriculum, mostly we're going to be looking at how are they participating, and what are we seeing in terms of the climate in those classrooms, the climate in the building as a result of that. That's going to be a little bit harder to quantify, but we're hoping that we've developed engaging enough curriculum that the students will be getting some important future skills from being part of those classes. And we will continue to check in and see because, as time changes and interests change and that sort of thing, the Plato program has a gazillion choices. Yeah. So there's a lot of flexibility that we can have there based on student feedback. Yes. No, right now they're all year. Because of the way that the students were placed in some of the courses. So the students who are in the math and the reading lab are placed in those courses because they're in our below level math and reading courses. And so this is to give them another layer of support so that hopefully by the end of sophomore year, they're at grade level. And so they were chosen for that. The AP courses, there are more than one offered at almost every grade level. So the students themselves chose which one they thought they might need the most support with. So if you're taking AP US History and AP Statistics and you're me, you would 100% sign up for the AP Statistics help. And so the students were allowed to choose. But it's a full year program right now. The regular grade curriculums are designed to be full year, and that's where anybody goes who doesn't need one of those other two things. And so they'll be in there all year. Right. So that's what the next layer is going to be, is what you're describing right now. So right now we're working on we're working on the students who were identified based on data that we collected either that got sent over from 8th grade in the case of our freshmen, who were recommended for, say, the reading strategies class or the below level math class. And then the kids self-selected for AP. The next step for that will be then to put that piece in place where if a kid isn't on our radar and they get through the first few weeks of school and it looks like they're not making it, then we can recommend that they would go to a more targeted tutoring during that time. So that'll be sort of the next layer. This is the foundation, right? Everybody will be somewhere doing something productive and good, and then we'll add another layer of support. This year we'll be planning that. Yes, so the kids who are in the lab classes need academic support. The kids who are in the AP classes, it's like an enrichment, helping them with that higher level. Everybody else is sort of getting a more generalized curriculum for now. And then we'll add another layer on to support kids who maybe are not making it in some of their other classes as the next step. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Right, so our intervention classes, which is the reading and math classes, are being taught by our reading teachers who teach our reading strategies classes, right? So they are the ones who are familiar with the curriculum and understand what students who are struggling with reading in high school might need, okay? It sounds like most of the math department is involved with the math. Mm-hmm. Right, and so those grade level courses, the freshman success, sophomore seminar, junior seminar, senior seminar, are being taught by, really we're using every teacher in the building pretty much. So if someone is a specialist, they're teaching one of those more specialized classes. If they're not, they're teaching one of these seminar classes. The curriculum was written very specifically and in a very detailed way because we wanted teachers to feel comfortable with the material right away. And so we have really detailed, high-quality units that were written for each of these with all of the materials and everything attached, so that when a teacher comes in to teach one of those classes, that they have exactly what they need and they're able to provide what the student, engaging lessons for the students during that time. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so do I. So do I. Right, right, yes. And I hear what you're saying about the 20. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We will also, one of the things, this initiative has sort of been driven by the school improvement team at the high school. And so one of the things that will be on the agenda for the school improvement team this year is to be taking a frequent pulse of the program and how it's going, and making tweaks as needed and recommendations. And we'll be, that's part of what we're going to be developing this year as a school improvement team as well. Mm. All right, thank you, thank you. And if you ever have any questions about a particular situation, feel free to reach out to the counselors or to me or to Jen. I mean, because we, you know, if it comes to pass that there's a kid that maybe we misplaced, or, you know, we have wiggle room in that, and we can make sure that people are getting. But again, just remember that that next layer is coming. So we're gonna keep working on that. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Everybody's going down there for my first no report. As long as
Let us know if we need you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you. Okay, District Affairs, Dr. Clark, FOIA update. Can't hear you.
Hello, everyone. I only have one for you to report for the month of August. The request is all emails sent by Dr. Nakia Hall beginning May 3rd, 2017 to current, where she has used the title Board President. The original complaint, OMA request, Opens a Meeting Act report, the final report, and emails between Dr. Cunningham, Dr. Hall, and Mr. Anderson regarding the 2017 PAC Public Access Counselor 45938 that was received by the PAC regarding the alleged violation of the Open Meetings Act of the following board members: Michael Teray, Jennifer Gasparo, and Janine Galbraith. The requester is Mike Teray, and it is still in progress. The reason it is still in progress is because all of the information has to still be compiled. So just to give you an example, we've had to call the requester and let them know that it was still in progress, because there is a total of 20 files that contain 339 sub-files that we have to go through individually, which is one of the reasons why it's being delayed. And I wanted to just make that known, because, you know, we are supposed to report out on all FOIAs and have it to the requester within 5 days. But in situations like this, it does take a little bit longer than that. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you. All right, business meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So
Thank you.
Second.
Very good. Dr. Cunningham?
9A, Superintendent. 1, Committee of the Whole closed session meeting minutes for July 11, 2017. 2, regular meeting minutes for July 18, 2017. 3, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of August 8, 2017. 4, approved scope membership renewal 2017-2018. B, business. 1, approve accounts payable agenda of bills. 2, approve payroll for August 2017. 3, approve treasurer's report. 4, approve fireworks display homecoming 2017. And C, donations. Thank you.
One comment on minutes. Board members, from now on, I have talked with Terry and Dr. Cunningham. The minutes from tonight's meeting will be forwarded to me as soon as they're done. I will review them and send them on to each of the board members. If you have changes or if you think there are errors in them, You can get those to me, and I will then compile them for Terry, so she's not receiving 7 emails if there's any changes that need to happen. So then we'll also have the minutes much sooner than we have in the past, and hopefully everything will go smoothly from there on out. Okay.
I have a question too. The approval of the consent agenda, does that include the membership for scope?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I would like to see if there's a way to take that out and vote on that separately. Do that. I'd like to take it out and vote on that part of it separately.
Eric?
Sorry, short delay.
Oops. Oops.
In order to remove the scope membership, Mr. Brown would have to agree to remove his motion. Mr. Brown, do you agree to remove your motion?
No, I do not agree. Motion stand.
That being said, unfortunately, the motion has to stand as it is, so we will have to vote on the entire consent agenda. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Teray?
No.
Mrs. Roop?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mrs. Gasparo?
Aye.
And Mrs. Galbraith is an aye.
Motion carries. Action reports, human resources. Mr. Neal?
Excuse me? Oh, yeah.
Sorry, can I get a motion to approve? Oh, I got to read all this. Can I get a motion to approve the employment of certified staff, the reassignment of certified staff, the leave of absence for certified staff, the return from leave of absence for certified staff, the intent to retire from certified staff, the resignation of certified staff, the dismissal of certified staff, the employment of educational support staff, the reassignment of educational support staff, the leave of absence for educational support staff, the return from leave of absence of educational support staff, the intent to retire of educational support staff, the resignation of educational support staff, and the dismissal of educational support staff.
Moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. I think I always skip that because it's so long and I subconsciously don't want to read it. Sorry about
Just
that.
don't want to, that's okay. Everybody get comfortable. The personnel report reads as follows. For certified staff employment, Joshua Volansky, Kimberly Cannon, Cordelia Horn, Patrick Jones, Holly Mann, Mary Matthews, Kara O'Sullivan, Jessica Olinsky, Sharif Anahale, Nikia Parchman, Tora Skurlock, Christine Smith, Valisa Tyson, and Gary Ward. For certified staff leave of absence, Valerie Vukicevic. For certified staff return from leave of absence, Judith Pappas. For certified staff reassignment, Chloe Becker, Tracy Orris, and Adrian Trobaugh, and Thomas Williams. For certified staff resignation, we have Alejandra Garcia, Monica Hall, Samantha Johnson, Frederick Nielsen, Amanda Naleen, Cassandra Peters, Elisa Richard, Carl Scott, and Ryan Wellborn. Educational support staff employment, Alicia Abrigo, Gregory Barksdale, Catherine Benefield, Andrea Burkott, Kathy DeVries, Marcel Fears, Ashley Garcia, Patricia Gabler, Crystal Goff, Elizabeth Halloran, Yvette Johnson, Katrina Lang, Summer Lee, Amy Mayer, Andrea Manchek, Catherine Masai, Melissa Nelson Moore, Florence Morales, Yolanda Perry, Faith Ramirez, Morgan Smith, Kimberly Strigo, Phyllis Taylor, Katrina Trejo, and Yolanda Woods. Educational support staff reassignments, Donna Bilo, Diane Denton, Jody Dyrek, Janelle Hurd, Sierra Porch, Genevieve Robinson, Margaret Rogers, Kathleen Schwartz, and Lena Zich. Educational support staff resignations, Sherman Adams, Marcella Calkins, Janice Land, Prentice Robinson, Nikki Thomas, and Terry Wallace. And educational support staff intent to retire of Cheryl Ray. And that ends the personnel report.
What are the items in yellow? Are those the things that changed since the report was presented to us originally? We have some things that are highlighted.
There were some typos.
Okay. Thank you. Questions?
Yeah, are we up to snuff? Do we have everybody we need now, or how much more do we need to open the door?
We're ready to open the door at this point. We do have some Spanish classes that are not covered. There are no more Spanish teachers to get at the moment. We're going to continue looking. We are working on some language labs to couple with the existing Spanish staff we have to make sure all students get face-to-face instruction and then have an opportunity to work with the language. And we, I believe most of our other hires are in the areas of some more teacher assistants and those types of things, which we can open the door with at this time and fill as we go, because not all needs are known yet.
How does the Spanish, lack of Spanish teachers affect our IB curriculum and our requirements there?
It should not affect it at all. We're far exceeding the requirement. So what we're going to do is still going to exceed the requirement as far as number of minutes of instruction. So it won't affect our IB status.
Thank you.
And questioning. What is minimum wage pay? The state of Illinois. What is the minimum wage?
I want to say it's $8.25. I'd have to look it up to be honest, but I believe it's $8.25.
So we have a couple employees that get paid that low.
Typically, those are our noon duty supervisors, the ones who supervise the playgrounds at recess time. Those are our minimum wage employees.
That's what a noon duty supervisor does. Just are they there just at noontime or?
They're there about 3 hours a day.
2 hours?
2.5 to 3 hours a day to supervise recess and lunch periods.
And we pay them $8.25 an hour.
Yes, that's been a minimum wage position, at least since I've been in the district, but, certainly we can do some research on that if you wish and see if we're competitive with that. We don't have problems with people taking the position.
So someone come here to work and they get paid $16.50 for that day and they leave.
It's typically somebody in the community who's just looking for a little something to get them out of the house. It's that they do it for free if they.
It's parents that volunteer.
It really is. It's not a job. For most people, it's not even a foot in the door position. They're just doing this because they want to do this.
Do we have a job description for this particular position?
Yes, we do.
And how many do you know employees do we have this making this particular amount or this particular position?
I would say roughly 20. I'd have to look to count for sure.
Is it a fast turnover or there's some stability here?
There's some stability. There's some turnover. Some people ultimately decide that they don't want to supervise students at recess anymore, or they decide they do want to get a full-time job, or we have some retired people doing this. They decide they'd like to go be retired, but it's not a tremendous turnover, but we do have some turnover.
So what are the consequences if these positions was not filled? So what position would that put the district in for the noon time and not having a supervisor, them performing these duties?
If we can't fill one of these positions, what we do, we have our non-certified staff, our teacher assistants are typically supervising recess. We have teachers who get paid to supervise recess. If we don't fill these positions, we often find teacher volunteers. We can require teachers to volunteer, or not to volunteer, but to be paid to do it. So, we can cover the recess supervision if we don't fill these positions.
But it would be at that current pay, or what pay? The pay that that particular person, when they take that position. So we can have theoretically a person getting paid $25, $30 an hour for this position.
If they're under the CLEA agreement, they get the extended day rate to do the supervision.
Okay, I would like to have further discussions on this maybe next year. Just to talk about this a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
And I do know that many of the people that do the positions are the ones that are in the buildings anyway, just about all day volunteering. So when they do that supervision and in the lunchrooms, then they take that opportunity to make a couple dollars.
Okay.
PTO moms, volunteers, other community members.
Oh my God, let some people reproduce.
And this is no benefits, right? Okay.
Other questions? Okay. Can you call the roll?
Mr. Toure?
Aye.
Mrs. Root?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mrs. Gasparo?
Aye.
And Mrs. Galbraith is an aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, business. Can I get a motion to approve a notice of public hearing and set the hearing date for the fiscal year 18 tentative budget? And I believe it's going to be set for September 26th.
26.
Mr. Semmel?
So moved.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Can I get a second? Mo?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Tonight's action, good evening, Board. Tonight's action is to, the administration is recommending that we put the budget on display for a minimum of 30 days. That will be in the administrative center and also on our website for viewing by the public. Also to set the hearing date for September 26th of 2017 prior to recommending approval of the budget. There is a document that I have shared with the board previously that goes into a kind of an overview of the budget. I have added to that document per the request of the board, the fund balances. So those are in there on a year-to-year basis, both the beginning and ending fund balances. Please keep in mind that 16-17 is an estimated one because the full audit hasn't been done yet. That will be done in a couple more months, so then we'll get the final numbers on the fund balances. It also does not include a payment that we received from the state today of $1.6 million. A little over that. That is for last year's categoricals. It is not this year's payment at all, but last year's, which was good news. So we received that. We're still short from last year, and I didn't do the figures, but off the top of my head, probably about $200,000 or $300,000.
$243,069.22. If you believe that. Sounds good, though, dude.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we still are short a little bit from the state, but again, the payment is welcome in that. So that is not reflected in this budget. I will make that adjustment prior to approval of the budget on the 26th. I can do that. We can make some adjustments on that. So I'll be making that adjustment on the revenue side also. Okay.
Thank you. Any questions? Again, we're only approving the notice of public hearing today. And setting the date for September 26th.
What time is the hearing going to be held?
It's usually the hearing is held directly prior to the meeting, the business meeting that takes place. It has to be held prior to the approval of the budget. So as I look at the agenda here, it would probably take place right before
7 o'clock.
Business meeting, 7 o'clock approximately.
7:15. We've done both, 7 o'clock or 7:15.
Okay, I just need a little clarification.
And they go through the,
I need a little clarification.
they're going to ask for a public.
Who's that? 7 o'clock.
Okay, so business manager, Surma, minimum 30 days that we have to post the
Yes.
tentative budget. And we're not approving the tentative budget tonight, are we?
We are not. You're approving the tentative budget on September 26th after the public hearings take place.
Okay, and when are we going to post?
I'm ready to do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep. So what we'll do is we will have a binder that is already ready, that has the budget in it, that will be at the reception desk of the administrative center. So if someone from the public wants to come in and view that, you really just give them the binder to view it. They can view it there. Then they return that. We also put it on our website. So that is also on our website for viewing also.
Okay, and you are not going to make the changes based on what we receive?
I am going to make.
You are going to make those changes?
Yes, so that the budget that will come to you will have those changes. Any changes that I make from this point forward, I will make the board aware of,
Okay.
so that you know that.
So tomorrow, what day is tomorrow? The
16th.
16th. And the law says minimum 30 days.
Yes.
So tomorrow is, and the 26th is when we are going to vote. September 26th. So we're talking about at least 40 days.
About 40 days, yes.
Okay. I just want the tentative budget to be as tight as possible because that just takes less arguments out there. So do you want to put it out tomorrow? Or do you want to wait till next week?
No, I'd rather give the public as much time as possible to take a look at that. I have no issue with putting it out tomorrow.
Okay. I started things come in over the next week and we can clean things up and we have a better tentative budget out there for the public to look at instead of
Are you
trying to answer.
expecting anything else to come in?
Clean some things
You know,
up.
I don't expect any more categoricals from last year coming in. I think this is the last round that you'll see. Again, who knows what's happening with SB1? You know, they have, I believe the House has 15 days from when, and Dr. Cunningham, you can correct me, 15 days from when the House, or when from the Senate.
Yeah,
overrode the
they had 15 days. The first day was yesterday, so they're down to 14 right now. So they got 2 weeks from tonight to decide what they're going to do.
Right.
And I think it was reported that they are not going to vote tomorrow because there was a rumor out that they were going to vote tomorrow, and that's been put down.
Okay, so you're looking at roughly about a 3.2 million budget deficit?
Approximately, at this point, now again, I have not gone in line by line. I began that process actually today. I'm starting to go line by line, going into that budget and looking at all the comments and seeing if things are budgeted appropriately.
Okay, go for it.
What about the newspapers? Don't we have to put it in the
We do.
newspapers?
I
And that
have
has
the
to
ad
be
already.
30
In
days
fact,
in
you'll have a
advance,
copy
right?
of it on, you'll see it on the agenda here. There's a copy of the ad in the board packet. I should say that in the board packet. There's an advertisement for tentative budget that's there, so that's ready to go. Once it's approved, then we're contacting the papers tomorrow. That'll be put in.
Okay, because we have to do that within
30 days.
30
yes, we
days
already-
also.
Tracy has actually already contacted them, so we already have approved them.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that we have that one also.
All
Thank
set,
you.
ready to go. Thank you.
Other questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruth?
Aye.
Mr. Toure?
Aye.
Mrs. Gasparo?
Aye.
And Mrs. Galbraith is an aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Do we have old business?
I have some old business. We talked at our last committee of the whole meeting about the Love Monee program. And I would just like to publicly thank that group for contacting us, and not only contacting us, but for their volunteers coming in and putting mulch and weeding at Monee Elementary School, and the mulch and weeding in the work that they did with Keith at the central office. We just appreciate all that our community continues to do for us, and I just wanted to make sure we publicly thank them. Love Monee. Love Monee.
Okay, so I do appreciate that as well. So I was going to chime in, either being new business or old business, because I think we need a little tender loving care around the high school and possibly some of the other buildings. Grass mowing looks fine to, as far as I view it, but there's some weed pulling and some hedge trimming. So I would like that to be attended to prior to school opening, especially around, all the mulch areas where the shrubberies and the signs in the high school.
As you can see, Keith is.
He's giving you the
Keith is
thumbs
ready.
up.
We're going to get at that. I
Two
took a look
thumbs
at-
up?
Yes.
All
I
right.
took a look at that. There are some signage that we need to pick up also. We've got some.
Please, let's,
counseling
yeah,
that we
this
need to get out.
has been a kind of a sore issue for the board, especially
years.
coming up. And I think you can use a little weed killer, not only pull it out, you could probably shoot it one time for the rest, and that should be okay, a little Roundup. Whatever you use for weed control, but
Yeah.
if not, you will be pulling it out. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your job, but I think the board want a nice looking, aesthetically pleasing to the eyes come this fall. Am I just speaking for myself, or everybody in agreement with it?
That would be Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be,
School start Wednesday?
school starts when.
Do you work the
Monday.
midnight shift?
Yeah. Yeah. I took a walk around before we had our,
School start tomorrow.
our function yesterday, and I saw some areas, and I'll spend some time with Keith.
Please.
And I know he's on that,
I've
and
seen
he
this
also
today.
has the actual license to do the work that needs to be done to make sure his people can get it done. We'll just make sure we get
And
there.
if it's okay, I'll come and volunteer. I'll be one of the love boats. What was that?
It's
The
gonna be
Love
long
Monee.
as y'all eat.
I'll be more than happy to come out and spend a couple hours. Just call me up if you need my strong arms, okay? Oh, I work the midnight shift.
Okay, there we go.
So thank you, Director. And again, kudos to you and all the volunteers out there for the school. Thank you.
Any other old business?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to a couple items. One is this continual breakdown on emails, telephones. I call people, I never got it. I send an email, I never got it. This has been going on for 2 years, 3 years now. I don't understand why an organization with 700 and some odd people has so much trouble trying to communicate. would like to see something done about this and get, either some contractors out here that can go over this stuff tooth and nail and figure out why we keep having these problems, or get some recommendations from our team to get the thing fixed, because it's an irritant, and I'm sure it's an irritant to the parents that are trying to reach the various people in the schools. I don't understand why this goes on and on and on. It's like a broken record that's never fixed. So I think we should be able to communicate, at least in the written form and telephonically, without this constant "I didn't get it" stuff. So I'd like the board to consider getting something done about this thing and getting it done once and for all. I'm just tired of excuses that I never got your email, I never got your voicemail, I never got whatever. And, it's frustrating for me as a board member when I have questions for administration. And I'm sure it's more frustrating for the public that has children in the school that's going to open pretty soon. And we're going to have over 4,700 plus we're probably going to hit $5,000 this year, right? Probably over 5,000 students. You need to be able to communicate. We don't want cell phones in the classrooms and all the disturbance from that. And I understand that, and I agree with that fully. But we need to be able to have a good phone system and a good email system that mom or dad or grandma get a hold of their child when they need to. I'm just tired of the excuses. It's Google's fault. It's everybody else. It's everybody's fault. The bottom line is it ain't working, guys. We got to get it fixed. So that's my first old business comment. Second one is, are we ready to go with everything on fields? We're ready to go. Stands, did that issue with the cooler or whatever it was get squared away? So I think was it a stove or a cooler? I can't remember.
It was a cooler, and I've met with the vendor, and that's all taken care of.
Everything's ready to go?
We're set.
Okay, great, because it's a big deal to the community. What happened with the investigation on our cell phone? No feedback one way or the other? Or? Okay, is there are these things grandfathered in? Do you know? Okay, then I must be misunderstood that wooden poles were no longer acceptable. Is that a untrue statement?
Excuse me. We kind of got lost over here. I'm trying to make sure. You were talking about the lights on the outside of the high school and the lights at the football stadium?
No, I'm talking about the football stadium itself.
Okay.
The 90-foot wooden structures that are supporting our lights. There was some talk about them not, I don't know if it's henceforth or if they need to be replaced. We've heard it.
but Mr. Sermon's already investigated that part, found out that we're not so far back that we have sodium, but we don't have the most up-to-date lights, and we are looking into that to see if we can find grants or what we can do to replace those light poles and those lights. And we'd like to be able to do that soon.
Can we get an update on the fire?
Yes, ma'am.
We're ready. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
I just have one more follow-up from the committee as a whole. As
What is the newest